It's happening. The red skies carried a meaning most people completely missed. And now it's about to peak. If you are spiritually attuned, these auroras are not just something you see, it's something you feel, even if the sky above you looks completely normal. You might not live anywhere near the auroras, you might not see the red at all, and it doesn't matter. If your spirit is awake, your body has already picked it up. This red glow isn't only revealing something about the world, it's about to reveal something about you. And right now, as this peaks into the 14th, that energy is at its strongest. When nature changes color, it's never just for decoration. Throughout history, whenever nature flashed a rare color, people stopped whatever they were doing and paid attention. Red skies that look like the horizon is on fire, green lightning striking through dark clouds, blood moons hanging low and heavy over quiet cities. None of this ever felt normal to anyone who was truly watching. Ancient people didn't have satellites or forecasts, but they knew one thing. When the sky broke its routine, life was about to break its routine too. And that's what makes what we're seeing right now so unsettling and so magnetic at the same time. It doesn't feel random. It doesn't feel casual. It feels like the universe has stepped out onto the stage and chosen a very specific color to speak with. Not everyone felt the red sky. Some people saw the same color you did, but nothing moved inside them. And that's because spiritually, this phenomenon works like a tuning fork. It vibrates at a very specific frequency, and only the people who are already open, aligned, or receptive pick up on it. If you felt something in your chest, your stomach, your awareness, or even in your intuition when you looked up, that wasn't random. That was resonance. Most people are out of range. They're not doing anything wrong. They're simply not attuned to what's unfolding. But a small percentage picked up on that shift instantly, almost like their inner world clicked with the sky. And if you're still thinking about the red sky hours later, if it lingered in your mind, even after the color faded, that says something about you. This isn't about being chosen, superior, or special in an ego way. It's about receptivity. It's about having the sensitivity to notice what others walk right past. The sky didn't reveal something to everyone. It revealed something to you, and that alone tells you you're not where you used to be. When the world shifts, only the awake feel it first. The people who connected with this red sky aren't imagining things. They're responding to something their energy recognized immediately, a signal, a pull, a knowing. And if you felt it, then you're part of the small percentage that's actually tuned to what this moment means. And this matters because the red sky wasn't just about revealing something, it was about activating something. And once you understand what it activates, everything about the next few days starts making sense. People hear the color red and immediately think danger, but spiritually, red was never about fear. Red is momentum. Red is ignition. Red is acceleration. It's the color that moves first and reaches the farthest. Even scientifically, red travels faster in the visible spectrum. So when the sky turns red, it's not signaling collapse, it's signaling movement. Think of red as the universe pushing the gas pedal. In this frequency, intentions don't drift slowly into reality, they pick up speed. Your emotional body becomes more charged, your energetic field becomes more responsive, and the gap between thought and manifestation gets noticeably tighter. It's the kind of period where a simple decision, a simple shift in focus, or even a small desire can ripple outward much faster than usual. And when a red sky appears naturally, without rituals or preparation, it amplifies that effect even more because the environment itself is holding the frequency. This is why some people feel strangely energized, restless, or ready to move forward, even if they don't know why. Their system is syncing with acceleration. This is not about healing or clearing or processing. This is about power. It's about a surge of speed entering both the world and your inner life. That's why whatever you focus on right now hits faster, harder, and with more momentum behind it. For a lot of people, this red sky didn't appear in a vacuum. It showed up after months, even years of internal pressure silently building underneath the surface. Think about everything 2024 and 2025 have pushed on you. Decisions you kept postponing, situations that stretched your patience, chapters that refused to close, and choices you knew you had to make but kept circling around. Many have been carrying emotional weight without fully realizing how heavy it became. This year didn't give anyone a break. It demanded clarity, growth, and responsibility, even when people felt unprepared for it. That's exactly why the timing of the red sky is so important. It didn't arrive when everything was calm. It didn't show up when life felt stable or predictable. It appeared right when the collective pressure reached a point where something had to give. And spiritually, that's not a coincidence. The red sky acts like a marker that the internal buildup is finally reaching its release point, not destruction, not collapse, but transformation, moving from the inside out. It appears at the moment when people can't keep holding what they've been holding, and the universe is basically saying, this is the moment things shift. What's fascinating is that many people are feeling this pressure as restlessness, impatience, sudden bursts of determination, or even the urge to completely reset parts of their life. It's not anxiety, it's momentum trying to break through confusion. And the red sky served as a visual reminder of that turning point. It showed up right. When clarity is preparing to break open from within, it's saying, you're closer than you think. Before clarity arrives, pressure always peaks. This isn't a warning about chaos. It's an indicator that your internal world is aligning with something bigger, something timed, something overdue. Everything that felt stuck or unresolved is beginning to loosen. The red sky didn't create the pressure. It appeared because the pressure is finally ready to release. Right now, we're in one of the last moments of this aurora window, a brief period when the atmosphere, the magnetic field, and the spiritual energy all intensify at the same time. The auroras are fading after today and tomorrow, but these final hours are when the energy peaks. It's like the sky is giving one final push before everything settles again. And what makes this period so unique is that the red sky didn't just show up as a symbol, it opened a kind of 24-hour window where reality bends faster around your thoughts, your actions, and your decisions. The red frequency accelerates movement, but during this specific window, that speed increases even more. Decisions feel amplified, intentions carry more weight, and the universe seems to respond quicker than usual. It's not superstition. It's the effect of entering a rare energetic alignment where your inner world and the external world sync more tightly than normal. The result is a temporary phase where your choices echo louder. A thought can turn into a sign almost instantly. A desire can cross your mind in the morning and show up in a symbolic way by the afternoon. It's a speed-up moment, a reality-bending pocket of time. People who are sensitive to energy might notice that the feedback loop is unusually short right now. You think about someone and they reach out. You wonder about a path and a sign appears. You consider a decision and feel an immediate pull in one direction. This isn't coincidence, it's the window at work. When the sky turns red, the boundary between intention and outcome tightens. These 2 days, especially between the night of the 13th and the day of the 14th, act like a magnifying glass for your reality. When the sky changes color, reality listens differently. That's why this window matters. It's not about prediction or fear. It's about understanding that these next hours carry more influence than usual. What you decide, what you say yes to, what you walk away from, and what you claim, it all lands differently right now. And once this window closes, the energy slows back down. But until then, these final moments carry a rare influence that won't return in the same form anytime soon. When people hear the phrase blood red sky, their minds immediately jump to fear, danger, or catastrophe, because that's how modern culture frames anything unusual. But ancient cultures didn't see it that way. To them, a red sky wasn't a sign that the world was collapsing, it was a sign that the world was becoming clearer. It marked a moment when illusion thinned, when truth rose to the surface, and when humans were pushed to see themselves honestly. These cultures believed that when the sky turned red, it meant something powerful was being illuminated. Something that normally stayed hidden in the background finally had room to emerge. This is where the modern misunderstanding lies. People assume that anything dramatic in the sky must be a warning, but the truth is, it's a mirror. A red sky symbolizes rebirth, renewed direction, and a shift in collective consciousness. It's the kind of event that signals a turning point, not a threat. Picture ancient people watching the sky ignite with color, not in fear, but with the awareness that a new chapter was beginning. They saw it as a sign that clarity was coming, clarity in relationships, clarity in purpose, clarity in choices, and it often marked the start of a season of breakthroughs, not breakdowns. In a way, the modern world has forgotten that symbolism. We've been conditioned to expect the worst, when in reality, the red sky aligns with cycles of growth. It shows up when people are about to understand something they've ignored. It appears when old versions of life are ready to be shed. It shows up when the world is ready to shift into a different stage of awareness. There's a line that fits this perfectly. The sky turns red, not to warn you of an ending, but to prepare you for a beginning. So if anything, this red sky isn't pointing toward doom, it's pointing toward rebirth. It's aligned with the moments where humanity steps into a clearer timeline, where truth feels sharper and where choices feel more intentional. The prophecy wasn't about destruction. It was always about awakening. One thing almost everyone sensitive to energy has noticed is that lately something feels off. Not in a negative or overwhelming way, but more like you're slightly detached from your usual patterns. You might feel like you're watching your life from a half step back, or like you're moving through your routines, but not fully anchored into them. Maybe your thoughts feel different, your reactions feel slower, or your intuition feels louder than usual. People keep describing it as a feeling they can sense but can't label. A shift that's happening inside without any clear explanation. That feeling isn't random. The energy behind the red sky actually destabilizes the old normal inside spiritually awake people. It disrupts outdated emotional cycles, predictable reactions, and old attachments. While it might feel strange, It's actually a sign that your system is adjusting to a new internal baseline. You're not losing yourself, you're outgrowing the version of yourself you occupied before this shift started. It's uncomfortable because your inner compass is recalibrating, trying to match a frequency that's rising faster than usual. Many people are reporting this sense of being slightly off track, slightly spaced out, or slightly ahead of themselves, even if their external life looks the same. They can't fully explain it, but they know something inside isn't operating the way it did a few weeks ago. That's exactly what happens when major atmospheric and energetic events collide. Your internal alignment updates before your mind catches up with the change. If you feel disconnected from your old patterns, it means they're dissolving. If you feel detached from things that used to drain you, it means those attachments are no longer compatible. And if you feel strangely aware that something is shifting, even without proof, that's the sign that you're tuned into the real movement happening beneath the surface. You don't feel like yourself because you're not meant to stay where you were. This phase is universal among spiritually sensitive people. It's not confusion, it's transition. Your intuition is sharpening, your priorities are reorganizing, and your identity is expanding in ways that only make sense after the shift completes. The red sky didn't create this feeling. It amplified what was already in motion. And soon, the version of you that feels off right now will become the version that feels more aligned than ever. There's something people don't fully understand about moments like this. The red sky isn't just a visual event, it's a perceptual one. It challenges the way we've been trained to see the world. For most of our lives, the sky has been treated as background, scenery, a backdrop, something passive that sits above us while we handle everything down here. But spiritually, the sky has always been more than that. It's not just a canvas, it's a mirror. It reflects changes in the world, in energy and in consciousness, long before we consciously notice them within ourselves. When the sky turns red, even for a moment, it disrupts that passive relationship. You're suddenly pulled out of autopilot and into a moment of heightened awareness. You're forced to actually see the sky instead of glancing past it. And in that pause, that break from the usual visual rhythm, perception begins to shift. The red hue doesn't just alter the color of the clouds. It changes the way time feels, the way your mind frames the moment, and the way your memory stamps that experience intense color has always been tied to emotional significance, and emotionally significant moments are the ones that shape perception the most. The red sky is a spiritual reminder that perception is creation. What you notice becomes what you respond to. What you respond to becomes what you shape. And when something as fundamental as the sky changes, it reorients your relationship to reality itself. People underestimate how powerful these moments of perceptual disruption are. They think they're just pretty visuals, but they're actually openings in consciousness, brief windows where the boundary between what you see and how you interpret life becomes thinner and easier to transform. When perception shifts, reality follows. And that's exactly why this moment matters. The red sky marks a collective shift from seeing the world as something we're stuck inside of to something we're actively shaping. It signals that we're stepping into a period where awareness deepens and interpretation changes. And once perception changes, nothing in your reality stays the same. This isn't about superstition or symbolism. It's about the undeniable fact that when consciousness is interrupted by something extraordinary, the mind expands to match it. When the auroras stretch across the sky, most people treat them like rare weather, beautiful, unusual, worth a picture, but still something external. But spiritually, auroras have always been more than a phenomenon. They act like gateways in the energetic sense. They open inner portals, shifts within the self that activate when the outer world reaches a certain vibrational intensity. The sky paints itself with colors that don't belong to the ordinary spectrum, and the moment you witness it, something internal responds like a key turning inside a lock. These gateway moments don't appear to everyone at the same time. Some people might walk under the same sky and feel nothing. Others might catch a glimpse and feel their entire inner world stir. The aurora isn't opening something out there, it's opening something in you. It's like the sky becomes a catalyst for activation, nudging dormant parts of your awareness, your intuition, or your calling back online. Not because the universe chose you over anyone else, but because you were receptive enough to notice the moment it opened. That's why your experience matters. You didn't see the red sky or the aurora by accident. You saw it because your internal state matched the frequency of what was happening above. Its timing, alignment, resonance, however you describe it, the message is the same. This moment was meant for you. It's a sign that your inner work, your inner shifts, and your inner readiness have synced with a rare atmospheric event that acts as a symbolic marker for growth. The sky doesn't show itself to you by chance. It shows itself when you're ready. So when you looked up and felt something, that rush, that spark of awareness, that strange recognition, that was the gateway activating. Not because the sky opened, but because you did. Moments like this remind you that the universe communicates through timing and perception. And if you are one of the people who felt the pull of this red-lit aurora, it means you've crossed into the beginning of a new internal chapter. It means your awareness has already stepped through the gate. And now, the rest of your reality will follow. People react so strongly to a red sky because it disrupts the familiar rhythm of their world. The sky is supposed to stay predictable, soft, and comforting, the one constant backdrop to every ordinary day. So when it suddenly shifts into something bold, intense, and impossible to ignore, it forces the mind out of autopilot. And that's where the fear really comes from. It's not the color itself, and it's not the phenomenon. It's the internal confrontation that arrives with it. A red sky doesn't warn you of external danger. It presses on the internal truths you've been avoiding. It brings everything you've been pushing aside right up to the surface, where you can no longer pretend you don't see it. The reason this color shakes people is because red doesn't whisper, it doesn't blend into anything. It doesn't soften itself for your comfort. Red is the color that demands acknowledgement. It represents intensity, decision, direction, and awareness. Things many people have been trying to delay or suppress. So when the sky suddenly adopts that energy, it challenges you to confront the parts of your life that you've been trying to keep muted. It becomes a mirror of the courage you've been postponing, the choices you've been circling around, the changes you've been resisting, and the emotions you've been storing away, hoping they'd sort themselves out. This is why the red sky feels like a dare. It embodies that moment when the universe stops letting you hide behind distractions and forces you to recognize the part of your story that needs movement. The sky turning red doesn't signal destruction. It signals intensity. It represents the moment life stops being patient with your hesitation. The sky isn't warning you, it's daring you. To ancient cultures, a red sky never meant collapse. It meant the spiritual atmosphere was being stirred. It meant clarity was approaching and illusions were dissolving. It meant something was being revealed that required attention. And even today, that symbolism hasn't changed, we've just stopped listening. When the sky shifts, it's because something in your life is ready to shift with it. You might not know what that is yet, but you can feel it. It's the quiet discomfort you've been trying to ignore. It's the sense that you've outgrown something familiar. It's the awareness that you can't pretend everything is the same anymore. The red sky challenges your vision, not your safety. It asks you whether you're willing to see what's really going on inside you. The dreams you've dimmed, the boundaries you've never enforced, the truth you've been too tired to say out loud. It confronts you with a single question that echoes louder than anything happening above. What are you avoiding? That's the real fear, not the sky itself, but the recognition that you can't go back to pretending things haven't changed. And now, you're in that moment. The question isn't why the sky changed. The real question is what changes you're finally ready to acknowledge. Because once the sky shows you that nothing looks the same, you're not supposed to stay the same either. What will you do now that nothing looks the same? The sky changed for a reason, and whether you realize it or not, that reason is tied directly to you. You're being asked to step into the next version of your life with honesty, courage, and awareness, not out of fear, but because clarity is here and you're meant to answer it. The most important part of everything happening right now isn't the sky, the auroras, or the global conversations around it. It's the personal shift happening inside you. If the red sky caught your attention in a way you can't fully explain, that alone is the sign that this moment is meant for you. Not everyone feels a cosmic event in their chest. Not everyone senses the air change before anything actually happens. But you did. And that means you're stepping into a phase where your inner world is no longer whispering, it's speaking clearly. You're entering a period where clarity stops being something you chase and becomes something that rises naturally to the surface. Thoughts that once tangled together suddenly separate. Emotions that used to confuse you start revealing their message. Choices that felt like a maze begin to form a straight line. It doesn't matter how chaotic the last few months have been. The red sky marks the moment where the fog stops being a barrier and becomes a backdrop. You're finally able to see what was there all along. And the momentum behind that clarity is real. You might notice yourself making decisions faster, trusting your instincts without needing endless reassurance, or feeling a sense of direction, even if you can't describe it in words yet. That's because something inside you is catching up to the truth you've ignored. You're ready for the next chapter, ready for the shift you've been sensing, ready for the life you've been quietly preparing for. What's powerful about this moment is that clarity doesn't just make your path obvious. It makes the old path impossible to return to. You'll feel it in the way certain conversations no longer pull you in, the way old habits lose their grip, or the way your priorities reorganize themselves without effort. You're stepping into alignment, and alignment always makes the unnecessary fall away. Not dramatically, not violently, naturally. The red sky was never just a visual phenomenon. It was a reflection, an external confirmation of everything that's been shifting inside you. Think about how rare it is for the environment itself to mirror your internal state so intensely. That's why it feels significant. That's why it feels personal. The sky didn't appear as a warning, it appeared as recognition. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.